Online lectures on scientific communication, brought to you by Professor Olga Ilchenko and Dr. Zinaida Shelkovnikova. Цикл онлайн-лекцій з наукової комунікації за програмою підготовки докторів філософії з освітнього складника «Іноземна мова професійного спрямування для підготовки аспірантів до рівня загальноєвропейського стандарту володіння мовою С1». Лекції за модулями «Загальнонародна мова та науковий дискурс», «Спільне і відмінне», «Читання наукового тексту», «Науково-академічне письмо», аудіювання та усне мовлення, монологічне і діалогічне. The language of instruction will be mostly English with some Ukrainian whenever applicable. If you have any questions at all or any comments of any kind, please email them at inglang@online.ua. Your feedback is more than welcome. The answers will be posted here. Ask great questions, enter to win a prize. We will be raffling off some goodies. Lecture 1. Загальнонародна мова та науковий дискурс. Спільне і відмінне. So, let's get started. Thank you for taking the time to attend the lectures on how to better communicate in English in a research setting. There are going to be 4 lectures altogether. My name is Olga Ilchenko, and my co-instructor's name is Zinaida Shelkovnikova. You know, no one is perfect. No one knows everything, not even us. The past 20 years or so, we've been teaching, translating, interpreting, doing research, going to the conferences, getting scholarships, writing articles, and so on and so forth. We've been lucky to work with top minds to create some fascinating and efficient instructional materials, textbooks, dictionaries, curricula, and the like. But, above all, helping our students to go from zero to hero. And we are really happy to share our knowledge with you. Of course, it's up to you to learn it. Hopefully, this course will shed some light on scientific and professional communication and will help you to learn a lot of useful stuff in order to avoid some of the common pitfalls. Again, thank you for taking the time to read and watch this. And let's get started. We do hope you will stay with us until the very end. So take advantage of this course. Why is this course important? Let's see if you can answer the following questions. Have you ever heard about the best-kept secret in language learning? Do you know the difference between a native speaker and an educated native speaker? Why should you want to study the language of science? Because it helps us to better understand how scientific communication works. Why we need to take into account the specificity and linguistic and extra-linguistic features of written and oral academic interaction. And last but not least, how to become successful in articulating your research ideas and communicating scientific results. It opens new avenues and, believe it or not, makes us smarter. Soon you will be able to publish your results in peer-reviewed journals, successfully present your results at national and international conferences ranging from several dozen to tens of thousands of attendees, participants, present your results to departments at universities and research institutes and centers, publish about your work in popular media, magazines, newspapers, blogs, and the like. Confidently share your latest research findings with other scientists for the purposes of mutually beneficial networking and collaboration. We will help you on your way to becoming part of a global research community. So, are you ready, folks? Okay, no need to be that serious anyways. And, dear audience, no need to know anything in linguistics nor in communication studies. Just be with us and let us surprise you. Did you know that the most frequently used English word is I? The most frequently used noun is time. The most frequently used adjective is good. So have a good time. We hope that you'll enjoy learning English with us. What do we need a language for? We use languages to interact and communicate, to persuade, to record experience, to tell the truth, to hide the truth, to explore, to pretend. But first and foremost, language is fun. And that's probably because the line between actually very serious and actually very funny is actually very thin, as John le Carré says. Let us ask you a question. What experiences come to mind when you think about learning a foreign language? And yes, you can pluralize the word experience, unlike research, though sometimes this word may be used in plural. However, we do not recommend pluralizing research. Our answer is pleasure and passion. Yes, that's right. We do love English, and we sincerely want to share this love with you. Do you know what the hardest thing for a foreign language learner is? Finding proper material that they can handle. Which is precisely the reason we've taken care of this, to make your learning process entertaining, useful, and motivating. Your regular English classes and our lectures will give you the tools to improve your grasp of the wonderful English language. How this works. Each material is interesting and entertaining, with good examples, realistic language, contexts and situations, with lots of rules for lives, tools and tips, and culture notes. The exclusive lectures handouts will review the lectures to see if you understood what the story was about. You will be provided with the explanations of meanings of some words and phrases that you may not have understood at first glance. Finally, you will get a set of questions, the final quiz, providing you with the chance to prove that you have learned something along the way. We want you to feel comfortable while learning the language. After all, no language should be a barrier for you to do research, travel around the world, and expand your social circles. Some important tips from the outset, which means from the very beginning. What is the best kept secret of learning a foreign language? English, for that matter. The answer is, learn not just the language per se, learn something in the language. For example, learn astrophysics in English. The ways to master a language are quite straightforward, simple. Listen as much as you can, and read as much as you can. Read and listen as many books, magazines, journals, websites, blogs, videos, podcasts, movies as you can. Only then will you learn to speak and to write properly. Focus on educated native speakers' speech and writing, not just any native speaker's language. Learn from the best. Read quality journals, magazines, websites, etc. For example, IEEE Spectrum, The Economist, National Geographic, Nature, MIT Technology Review, Harvard Business Review, the New York Review of Books, etc. Richard Feynman, for example, Surely You Are Joking, Mr. Feynman, Adventures of a Curious Character. Isaac Asimov, for example, Treasure of Humor, The Intelligent Man's Guide to Science, to name a few. Thomas Kuhn, especially his book on scientific paradigms, Structure of Scientific Revolutions. Chip Heath, Dan Heath, Made to Stick, Why Some Ideas Take Hold and Others Come Unstuck. Books by David Crystal, Michael McCarthy, Michael Swan, Robert Cialdini, Peter Elbow, Clayton Christensen, Daniel Kahneman, Yuval Noah Harari, to name a few. Some oldies but goldies. Dale Carnegie, all of his books. Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Also, take part in webinars. Attend conferences. Watch TED Talks, IEEE TV. Remember what we call the rule of 3 C's, the result of years of teaching experience. Контекст. Завжди зважайте на контекст уживання слова, а також на контекст ситуації спілкування та культурну специфіку мовної взаємодії, інтеракції. Conventions. певні норми та вимоги, що їх слід дотримуватися. Наприклад, редакційна політика того чи іншого часопису, конкретні вимоги щодо оформлення статей, формати доповідей, статей, презентацій тощо. Clarity – уміння чітко структурувати та аргументовано висловлювати думки. A very important point from the outset. Rule for life number 1. Absolutely no plagiarism. Useful information on using sources, citing sources, avoiding plagiarism from Harvard University is listed below. Remember, your work should be an original contribution to knowledge, not a derivative, unoriginal imitation. Please watch this short YouTube video on avoiding plagiarism. Do not quote Wikipedia in your research. You are free to read it though, but in serious research, this source is not counted as credible, reliable, and authoritative enough. Do not use the word peculiarities to convey the idea of особливости when speaking and writing about science and or research. Use instead features, traits, characteristics, specificity, особливости, features, traits, characteristics, specificity. Tools and tips. Never capitalize you. Do not write like this, you. В англійській мові існує лише вічливе ви, тобто you, і жодного ти, але you не пишеться з великої літери. The words research, knowledge, advice, information, news, aircraft are already plural. You can speak of a piece of research, a piece of advice, a piece of news, or some advice, etc. However, it's okay to speak of both experience and experiences. The Ukrainian translation of the English word paragraph is abzats. General English or everyday English versus the language of science. The former, the first one mentioned above, is more conversational. The latter, the last one mentioned above, is more academic. The case of the verb to suggest. Both in general English and in the language of science, to suggest means пропонувати увазі, вносити пропозицію. E.g., what ideas would you suggest? Synonyms: to offer, to recommend, to put forward, to put forth. In the language of science, it can also mean наводити на думку, натякати. For instance, all the evidence suggests possible future use of such materials. Synonyms: to indicate, to imply, to hint, to insinuate. General English, the language of science. Discipline: the practice of making people obey rules of behavior, a strict set of rules that controls an activity or situation. Discipline in general English. In the language of science, discipline: a subject that people study, especially at a university. For instance, academic disciplines. Chemistry in general English: the complex emotional interaction between two people, mutual attraction. Chemistry in the language of science: the science concerned with the composition, properties, and reactions of substances. General English: fantastic, brilliant, fascinating, awesome. The language of science: excellent, outstanding, seminal when speaking about a paper. General English versus the language of science. Fave, favorite. Intro, introduction. Fridge, refrigerator. Info, information. Phone, telephone. I believe in, я верю у. I believe, I think, я вважаю. I think, I guess, я гадаю, думаю. I argue, я вважаю. I would argue, я вважаю. Very rich, wealthy, wealthy. Very tired, exhausted, exhausted. Very smart, intelligent, intelligent. Very important, important. Really significant, significant. It's a pity, sadly, alas, unfortunately, ls. Peculiarities, traits, features, characteristics, specificity. It seems to me, мені здається, скидається на те, що it seems arguably очевидно. To back up, to support. To wrap up, to summarize, to conclude. To suggest – пропонувати. To suggest – пропонувати, наводити на думку. Of course, sure thing, absolutely, звісно. Of course, but, however, although. Так, але маркує наступне заперечення та або незгоду. To read – читати, reading – читання. The device reads – прилад показує. Device readings – покази приладу. Only time would tell. It's an open question. We didn't have any special equipment. We had no special equipment. Рівні володіння іноземними мовами за загальноєвропейською системою оцінювання знань європейських мов, розробленою Радою Європи. CEFR – Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. Інтродуктивний рівень – базове володіння мовою, користувач-початківець, breakthrough або A1. Середній рівень – базове володіння мовою, користувач-початківець, wastage або A2. Рубіжний рівень – самостійне володіння мовою, незалежний користувач, threshold або B1. Просунутий рівень – самостійне володіння мовою, незалежний користувач, vantage або B2. Автономний рівень – вільне володіння мовою, досвідчений користувач, effective operational proficiency або C1. Компетентний рівень – вільне володіння мовою, досвідчений користувач, mastery або C2. Examples of words levels. To know, to have information, A1. To let somebody know, A2. By the way, A2. Way, method, A2. Way, direction, B1. In a way, B2. By way of introduction, C1. You know, to get to know somebody, as far as I know, as you know, B1. You never know, B2. To know something inside out, C1. To know best, C2. Blue, color, A1. To feel blue, C1. Out of the blue, C2. Varieties of English. English is a worldwide language. There are many varieties of English in the world. The oldest variety of English is British English, spoken in the United Kingdom. Approximately 60 million people are native British English speakers. The variety of English with the largest number of native speakers is American English, with around 225 million native speakers. The other major varieties of English are Canadian English, Australian English, New Zealand English, South African English, and Indian English. Varieties of English may be further divided into dialects. Some also recognize World English. This term was coined by Brachka-True. And mixed varieties, called so by David Crystal, like Denglish, German English, Dunglish, Dutch English, Franglais, French English, Spanglish, Spanish English, Greeklish, Greek English, Chinglish, Chinese English, Japanese English, etc. Англійська мова країн Європейської співдружності має назви Eurospeak або Euro-English. Так, вплив англійської мови, особливо американського її варіанта, як наслідок культурної та економічної експансії США, спричинив появу так званого франглея або френгліш. У ньому, наприклад, існують мовні одиниці типу le happy end, le walkie-talkie, le hot dog, le snack, le stock, le self-made man, le hobby, le must, le Dow Jones, le marketing, le star, le manager, le look, le shopping, la first lady, а також вислів «Ce n'est pas ma tasse de thé», тобто дослівний переклад англійської ідіоми «This is not my cup of tea». Not one's cup of tea, not something one prefers, desires, enjoys or cares about. Звичайно, регіональні варіанти англійської мови бувають досить специфічними. Так, про особливості національного вживання англійської мови в Японії свідчить таке вдале висловлення «слова англійські, але вживаються вони за правилами японської мови». English as lingua franca. Whatever the variety or dialect, English speakers can successfully communicate with each other. According to David Crystal, a language achieves a genuinely global status when it develops a special role that is recognized in every country. English has become the international language of science, or global lingua franca of the 21st century. Англійська мова є особливою мовою, local language, глобальною мовою з локальними особливостями. Користувачі англійської мови. Внутрішнє коло. The inner circle. Носії англійської мови США, Великої Британії, Ірландії, Канади, Австралії. L1 speakers. Зовнішнє коло. Outer extended circle. Жителі країн, в яких англійська мова визнана другою офіційною. Second language. Та мешканці колишніх колоній англомовних країн. L2 speakers. Коло, що розширюється. Expanding circle. Країни, в яких англійська мова вивчається як іноземна. Foreign language. Culture specificity of English. Culture note. Please compare. The Americans' reply to the reporter's question, "How did you manage it?" was, "It was tough. I spent years training, lots of sweat, but we did it." And the Englishman's reply, "Oh, nothing." More examples. What the British say. "I hear what you say." What the British mean. "I disagree and do not want to discuss it any further." What is understood. "He accepts my point of view." What the British say. "With the greatest respect." What the British mean. "I think you are wrong or a fool." What is understood. "He is listening to me." What the British say. "Correct me if I'm wrong." What the British mean. "I know I'm right. Please don't contradict me." What is understood. "Tell me what you think." What the British say. "That's not bad." What the British mean. "That's good or very good." What is understood. "That's poor or mediocre." What the British say. "Quite good," with the stress on the quite. What the British mean. "A bit disappointing." What is understood. "Quite good." What the British say. "Quite good," with the stress on the good. What the British mean. "Excellent." What is understood. "Quite good." British English versus American English. Some differences. There are some differences in spelling, in stress. Research, British English, versus both research and research in American English. Resource, British English. Resource, American English. Adult, British English. Adult, American English. Address, адреса, British English. Address, адреса, American English. British English versus American English. Research supervisor, research advisor, doctoral thesis, PhD dissertation, postgraduate student, PhD student or doctoral student, full stop, period, queue, line, chips, French fries, lorry, truck, at the weekend, on the weekend, have you got time? Do you have time? Have you ever thought of it? Did you ever think of it? I haven't seen him for 5 years. I haven't seen him in 5 years. I have got the parcel. I have gotten the parcel. I finished my work. Did you? I finished my work. You did? It might help us to save time. It might help us save time. Culture note. English or British? British pertains to the 4 countries which make up the UK or the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, namely England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. English pertains only to England. The term British Isles denotes the archipelago of about 5,000 islands. The largest island is Great Britain, which is divided into 3 countries, England, Scotland and Wales. The second largest island of the British Isles is Ireland, which is divided into 2 countries, the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. English or British? Other states of the English Isles are known as Crown Dependencies, території або володіння британської корони. These are the Isle of Man, located in the Irish Sea, Jersey and Guernsey, in the English Channel. Jersey and Guernsey are part of an archipelago known as the Channel Islands. Another meaning of English is the English language. The English language spoken in the United Kingdom is referred to as British English, as opposed to American English or Australian English, though in reality, British English is not just one, but several local variations and dialects of English spoken in the UK. Interestingly, the Booker Prize-winning novelist Ian McEwan has rejected any notion that he is a British writer, insisting instead that English and Scottish writers are culturally different. Please watch this short YouTube talk by Professor David Crystal. Завдяки контрастивно-риторичному підходу можна показати неповторну унікальність певної мови та виявити універсалії, спільні риси, притаманні різним мовам. Національно-культурні особливості передачі наукової інформації віддзеркалюються у певному культурно зумовленому способі висловлення думки, що його називають інтелектуальним стилем, під яким розуміється етноспецифіка писемної передачі думок у мові науки згідно з усталеними правилами та законами побудови наукових текстів. Контрастивна риторика виникла як відповідь на педагогічну проблему навчання письму іноземною мовою. Теоретичними засадами такого підходу є поняття про те, що мова і як наслідок письмо – це феномени культури, а отже, кожна мова має власні неповторні особливості. Більше того, часто мовні структури першої, рідної мови, переносяться у другу. Той факт, що контрастивна риторика набула великої популярності саме у США, пояснюється традиційно великою кількістю іноземних студентів у навчальних закладах цієї країни, котрі, аби там навчатися, повинні вміти писати у відповідності до усталених англо-американських академічних стандартів. Роберт Kaplan's Cultural Thought Patterns. Johann Galtung's intellectual styles. Saxonic, linear, encourages debate, overall positive, tolerant, and even humorous US versus negative UK attitude. Gallic, elegant but elitist. Teutonic, dry, overly theoretical. Both Gallic and Teutonic styles are more cold, stiff, tend to use correct words. There is barely any humor. Nipponic, respect for authority, sense of collectivism, democratic. Риси англо-американського інтелектуального стилю. Лінеарність або лінійність, тобто чітка структурованість тексту та експлікація авторської інтенції, ясно висловлений намір автора. The remainder of this article is structured as follows. First, we review IMS architecture. We then discuss the potential benefits of IMS for enterprises. The article describes the four architectures for the use of IMS by enterprises. Next, we describe the implementation of IMS-based system and discuss the lessons we have learned from this experience. Уникання дегресивності, повторів, відхилень від теми. Індивідуалізм, чітко виражене авторське «я». В англійській мові науки абсолютно прийнятним є вживання I на зразок I think, I argue, in my opinion тощо. Специфічні етикетні модуляції категоричності та некатегоричності тверджень. Типу I would suggest, I would argue, I tend to agree. Непряма персуазивність, уміння переконувати у некатегоричний спосіб. Наприклад, This is achieved in a variety of ways. It could be concluded that this is less important, but still far from being unnecessary. Значна орієнтація на читача, максимально зрозуміле висловлення думки, перефразування задля більшої зрозумілості. Which means, in other words, basically X is saying that is getting colder, which means more time to read books and to do research. Наведення прикладів, екземпліфікація. For example, for instance, e.g. Завдяки експансії англійської, дискурсивні стандарти цієї мови переносяться в інші мови. Зауважимо, що нині існує принаймні кілька десятків визначень поняття дискурсу, як і тексту. Ми послуговуємося визначенням дискурсу професора Ірини Олександрівни Голубовської, а саме, дискурс – це складне комунікативне явище, яке враховує соціальний контекст, воно зумовлене ментальними процесами та екстралінгвальними, позамовними чинниками. Тен Ван Дайк наголошує на важливості трактування дискурсу як контекстуально зумовленої комунікативної події, як структури та процесу, та як соціальної інтеракції, взаємодії, що враховує як писемне, так і усне мовлення. Етимологічно дискурс означає мовлення від французького «discours», а текст – тканина, сплетіння від латинського «textus». Розвиток лінгвістичної теорії прямує від більш вузького, суто текстуального, текст як цілісний у змістовому та структурному сенсах продукт мовлення, до дискурсивного підходу, який враховує контекст спілкування та екстралінгвальні чинники. Слід зазначити, що деякі текстові категорії та категорії дискурсу збігаються. Передусім, це стосується категорії інформативності, когезії та когерентності, зв'язності та зрозумілості, а також інтертекстуальності, наявності слідів інших текстів, наприклад, цитат тощо. Будь-яка мова постійно змінюється, і мова науки теж. Так, однією з останніх тенденцій наукового дискурсу є його наративізація, залучення елементів оповіді, що сприяє пожвавленню наукового викладу, робить його більш емоційно забарвленим та зрозумілим, полегшує його декодування. Наративізація наукового дискурсу – це сучасна дискурсивна практика, яка полягає у специфічній наративній передачі наукової інформації. Ознаками наративізації наукового дискурсу є зменшення кількості безособових та пасивних конструкцій, вживання риторичних питань, засобів залучення читача до уявного діалогу типу «let's imagine» тощо. Наративний дискурс естетичний та креативний. I like narrative storytelling as being part of a tradition, a folk tradition. Bruce Springsteen. Some really good resources and study materials. Umberto Eco, How to Write a Thesis. Yes, the famous writer actually speaks about ways of doing research and writing about it. It's a very enlightening read with lots of interesting facts. This book is rightfully called A Guide to Thesis Writing, that is, a guide to life. Рецепт плану наукової роботи від Умберто Еко. Постановка проблеми, досвід попередників, гіпотеза, дані, які ви зібрали, аналіз цих даних, доведення гіпотези, висновки, перспективи подальшого дослідження теми. Ecoisms, quotes from the book. Your thesis is like your first love, it will be difficult to forget. At the very least, writing a thesis is like training the memory. One will retain a good memory when he is old, if he has trained it when he was young. There are many things that I do not know because I photocopied a text and then relaxed, as if I had read it. First of all, it is necessary to define your terms, unless they are irrefutable canonical terms of the discipline. You are not Proust. Do not write long sentences. If they come into your head, write them, but then break them down. Shani Raja, Secret Sauce of Great Writing. His book and free online course. I myself took this free course at Udemy that offers a lot of high-quality and affordable online courses, and believe me, it's worth every minute of your time. More resources on EAP, English for academic purposes, and science and professional communication. Some of my textbooks, namely The Language of Science. Вікторія Калюжна, Олена Букреєва, English Opens Many Doors. Тетяна Яхонтова, English Academic Writing. Oxford EAP, Cambridge Academic English, Academic Vocabulary in Use. Adrian Walworks Books. Academic Writing, a Handbook for International Students by Stephen Bailey. Writing Scientific Research Articles, Strategy and Steps, Margaret Cargill and Patrick O'Connor. The Academic Phrase Bank by John Morley. Cambridge English for Scientists, Cambridge English for Engineering. grammar and usage books, Raymond Murphy, Martin Hewings, and our absolute favorite, Michael Swan, Practical English Usage. Authoritative dictionaries, Macmillan English Dictionary for Advanced Learners, Macmillan Collocations Dictionary for Learners of English, Cambridge Academic Content Dictionary, Webster's Dictionary, Cambridge Phrasal Verbs Dictionary, Oxford Dictionary of English, Oxford Collocations Dictionary for Students of English, Longman Language Activator, Collins Co-Build Advanced Learners English Dictionary. The importance of context and collocations. Collocation is common, natural co-occurrence of words. We say on the internet, on TV, on the radio, spacious kitchen but Italian cuisine, knowledge of but knowledge in the field of. The device reads and device readings, on purpose, by chance, as a result, in turn, у свою чергу, brand new, to depend on, залежати від, in full detail, у найменших подробицях, have a book, an hour and a half, not good enough, my friends and I, we pay a visit, do research or carry out research, but we only carry out an experiment. We make mistakes, we do the shopping, do one's best, but we make good impression. We address a research problem or question. Our research deals with some problems. We say the analysis and or the study of, the problem of, rationale for behind, logic behind, reason for. We say to be a success, мати успіх, a speedy resolution to the problem. We differentiate between to consist of, складатися із, and to consist in, полягати у. We say recent developments, останні розробки, досягнення, події, but breaking news, the latest news and breaking news, the latest news and headlines, останні новини. We decide to solve a problem. Вирішуємо розв'язати проблему. We talk about an elegant solution. This phrase is used in mathematics, engineering, and software development to refer to a solution that solves the problem in the simplest and most effective manner. We might have difficulty with or be impressed with something. We talk about a tendency, progress towards, changes, increase, decrease in, influence on. We look at something, of course. A word on phrasal verbs. Phrasal verb is a verb plus preposition. To carry out an experiment and or research, to bring about, to cause, спричиняти, to look into, to investigate, to focus on, зосереджувати увагу на, to find out, дізнаватися, з'ясовувати, to be impressed with, to do without, to succeed without, обходитися без, to get rid of, позбутися, to put off, to postpone, відкладати, to take into account, to take into consideration, брати до уваги, to account for, to explain the reason for, to look forward to, з нетерпінням чекати, to allude to mention in an indirect way, to hint, to imply. To turn on, to switch on, вмикати, увімкнути, to turn out, to turn off, to switch off, вимикати, відключати, to turn out to be, виявлятися. For example, any other resources they can find online or elsewhere might turn out to be useless. To come across, to find or meet by chance, випадково натрапляти, натрапити на щось або на когось. For instance, I came across this new word yesterday morning. To come across as, to create an image, to seem, to appear to, видаватися. They come across as pleasant people. We say R&D, research and development, науково-дослідна робота. FYI, for your information. TBA, to be announced, or TBD, to be defined. PLA, prior learning assessment and recognition, externat. Research in the field of, у галузі, but research on into a particular subject з проблематики. She does research in computer science. He does research on AI, artificial intelligence. We say hard surface – тверда поверхня, але solid state physics – фізика твердого тіла. Super hard material – надтвердий матеріал, але sure-footed leadership – тверде керівництво. Both smart and wise mean intelligent, but the latter, the word wise, implies that the person has additional good judgment and deep perception about life. Synonyms are often used in different collocations too. For example, we can describe either a person or an idea as brilliant, but only a person can be astute. Intelligence – розвідка, служба розвідки, інтелект. Intellect – brain power, AI – artificial intelligence, штучний інтелект, IQ – intelligence quotient, коефіцієнт інтелекту, theory of multiple intelligences, теорія множинного інтелекту, occupation – професія, робота, line of work, job, вторгнення, invasion, objective – мета, ціль, aim, purpose, goal, object, об'єктивний – fair, impartial, non-subjective. English has a number of words that mean fast, but each one has different collocations. We use fast to describe a vehicle, a person, or an action. A fast car and or train, a fast runner, to work fast, to drive fast, to learn fast. We use quick to describe an event or action. A quick shower, a quick lunch, a quick glance, a quick decision. We use rapid to describe a change, a rapid increase, a rapid decline, a rapid change, a rapid growth, the rapid progress. The words prompt and swift are frequently used with action and punctual reaction, response. A swift response, a prompt reply to a letter or an email, a prompt delivery of a product we ordered. The word hasty means fast and in a rush, without sufficient consideration. One might come to a hasty conclusion and make a hasty decision. Sentiment versus sense. Sentiment, a thought, view, attitude or opinion based on a feeling about a situation. E.g., the economic sentiment in the Eurozone improved and returned to the previous levels. Gentle feelings such as sympathy, love, etc., especially when considered to be silly or unsuitable. Sentiment is a chemical defect found on the losing side. Sense, a general feeling or understanding. E.g., he has a great sense of humor. An ability to understand and react to something via any of the 5 physical abilities: sight, hearing, smell, taste, or touch. E.g., it is argued that humans have more than 5 senses. This is still subject to ongoing scientific research. Some scientific terms. Sentiment analysis, also known as opinion mining. Sentiment analysis, opinion mining, is the automated process of understanding an opinion about a certain subject from written or spoken language. By 2030, the Internet of Things could possibly be supplanted by the Internet of Senses, an interactive and sensory installation that allows the user to feel different sensations. One more scientific term worth noting: judgment call, суб'єктивне, спірне рішення. A word on idioms. An idiom is an expression, a group of words in a fixed order whose meaning is different from the meaning of the individual words. Top-notch, first-rate denotes of the highest quality. To know what makes someone tick means to know what motivates someone. Hustle and bustle – метушня. Safe and sound – у повній цілості, в целості і сохранності. Carrot and stick – метод пирога і батога, метод кнута і пряника. Red tape – бюрократизм, тяганина, bureaucracy. Red herring – відволікаючий маневр, дезінформація. Rush hour – година пік. What goes around comes around. Що посієш, те й збереш, що посієш, те й пожнеш, як дбаєш, так і маєш. To be at odds with – to disagree or be very different from. To put in a nutshell – in brief, коротше кажучи, одним словом, коротко, стисло. Take your time – no hurry, no rush, не поспішайте. Deal with it – ну що ж зробиш, змирися з цим. This doesn't hold water – Це не витримує жодної критики. Це нісенітниця. You are on the right track. Ви на правильному шляху. Bells and whistles – непотрібні надлишкові функції, цяцьки, мішура. Rocket science – робота, яка потребує неабияких розумових здібностей. Not rocket science – робота, яка не потребує неабияких розумових здібностей. Легка, нескладна робота. Low-hanging fruit – найлегший шлях. The Rosetta Stone – розетський камінь, зразок для розшифровки, ключ до. The bottom line – підсумок, суть справи, визначальний фактор, чинник. Context, context, context. Individual words do not tell us much. Context is everything. Learn everything in context. Your words, like your wardrobe, should be highly contextual. We say well-known or famous to denote відомий, славетний, знаменитий, але notorious to convey a totally different idea of відомий, а саме infamous, сумнозвісний. The word get can mean arrive, get home, get to work, get to the store, become, get interested, get married, buy, get a computer, get something for a good price, understand, get the gist, obtain, get a job, get education, get an award, get a degree, receive, get a present, get an email, get a degree, talk directly about a subject, get straight to the point. The many faces of in fact. Залежно від контексту, in fact може означати фактично, власне кажучи, actually. Крім цього, на додачу, in addition to. Насправді може маркувати наступне заперечення, а саме, тобто, себто, namely, підсумовуючи у кінцевому підсумку, in conclusion. The many faces of involve. Involve – містити, включати, перелік може бути повним або неповним, охоплювати. Complex tasks involve a large array of subtasks. Підпадати під дію, бути у межах. The problem involves only one department. Вимагати, потребувати. The heart of the report, the tough analysis and recommended solutions involves a group or team effort. Входити до, бути частиною. This is almost inevitable given all the research involved in a report and all the areas that can be affected by it. Чинити вплив, позначатися на, зачіпати. If it also involves other divisions, it should draw members from all of them. Залучати до. The teacher involved the students in a classroom discussion. Захоплювати увагу. The experiment involved me for the whole week. Вплутувати, бути вплутаним. Are they really involved in recent scandal? Огортати. The garden was involved in mist. False friends or deceptive cognates. Aspirant – someone who very much wants to achieve something. Шанолюб. Annotation – короткий коментар у книгах. Abstract – summary. Анотація. Decade – 10 years, not days. Actual – фактичний. Actually, in reality, in actuality. Фактично, насправді. Актуальний. Timely, high priority. Наукова актуальність. Scientific relevance, timeliness. Academic – іменник, учений, науковець, інтелектуал. Academic – прикметник. Академічний, науковий, теоретичний, навчальний. Academic background – отримана освіта. Academic council – вчена рада. Academician – академік, член академії. Academy – академія, навчальний заклад. Academia, academe, the academy – науково-освітянська спільнота. The word technique should be rendered as method, методика. By techniques, native speakers of English mean methods, procedures, approaches, and ways of doing something using a special skill. The word техніка is translated as technology. Accurate – точний, акуратний – це neat. Intelligent – розумний, intelligible – розбірливий, наприклад, про почерк, мовлення. Desert – hot sandy region – пустеля. Desert – to leave – залишати, покидати. Dessert – sweet meal – десерт. Rational – based on logic – раціональний. Rationale for – behind – explanation of fundamental reason – justification – логічне обґрунтування. Complexion – колір обличчя. More examples. Humanities or humanistic studies – гуманітарні науки. Human sciences – гуманітарні та соціальні науки. Humane – гуманний, цивілізований. Humanitarian – прикметник, гуманітарний. For example, humanitarian help – гуманітарна допомога. Humanitarian – іменник, гуманіст. Culture-flavored words. aggressive, ефективний, дійовий, challenge, challenging, needing the full use of one's abilities and effort, difficult but not impossible, складний, але цікавий, перспективний. These words tend to be used instead of difficulty, difficult. Compromised, невдалий, interesting, important but somewhat unexpected or strange, деякою мірою цікавий, дещо цікавий. Very interesting and its equivalents, more interesting, the most interesting, of great interest, дуже справді цікавий. Interestingly, цікаво, що ужити на початку речення слугує засобом привертання уваги адресата. To argue, to insist, to be sure of, зазначати, уважати, мати усі підстави вважати. Arguably, it seems, очевидно, ймовірно. I argue seems to signal claims that the speaker feels are very well supported, conveying more certainty than I believe, I feel, I think. The importance of politeness, hedging. Politeness, увічливість, чемність, гречність, поштивість, is about keeping good relations with your listener or reader. There are two types of politeness. Softening what you say so as not to be too direct or forceful. Зменшення категоричності тверджень. Showing the listener or reader that you respect and value them. Демонстрація поваги до адресата, співрозмовника або читача. The English language is very polite. General English and academic English alike. Both use specific politeness device. Hedging, gauging, засоби зменшення категоричності тверджень. Some hedging devices in the language of science. To suggest, to indicate, наводити на думку, очевидно свідчити про. Indication, ознака. To tend, мати тенденцію. To seem, it seems, likely, apparently, вочевидь, ймовірно. It seems to me, as far as I know, наскільки мені відомо, would, could possibly, maybe, may or may not, might, perhaps, probably, used instead of will, can, should, must. Probability, possibility, ймовірність. In a sense, in some sense, у певному розумінні. In a way, somewhat, дещо. A kind of, a sort of, типу. More or less, більшою чи меншою мірою. It could be concluded, можна зробити висновок. Hopefully, сподіваємося, що. Можна сподіватися, що. That's no coincidence, the research suggests. I would tend to agree with them. Maybe we find a million solutions. I would like to comment it. It could be concluded that there has been considerable variation from month to month. The above conclusions are somewhat at odds with current thinking about the likely evolution of the Internet. Hopefully, this will lead to a more dynamic environment. There was no indication of change. Market research seems to confirm this. Perhaps I would reconsider my decision. Saying both yes and no. It depends. Some say yes, others say no. The answer is both yes and no, may or may not, something in between, a nice mixture of optimism and concern. In part, in part. There is a half-full view of the world and a half-empty view of the world. We subscribe to both. John Carlson. Don't overdo it when it comes to hedging. Принагідно зазначимо, що інколи намагання перестрахуватися, не бути занадто категоричним, може створити гумористичний ефект. Наприклад, лист до редакції. Вельмишановна редакція, формулювання закону Ома необхідно уточнити так. Якщо використовувати ретельно відібрані та бездоганно підготовлені вихідні матеріали, то за умови певних навичок можна сконструювати електричний ланцюг, для якого виміри відношення струму до напруги, навіть якщо вони тривають обмежений час, дають значення, які після запровадження відповідних поправок дорівнюють сталій величині. Dr. George Thompson explains 5 universal truths of human interaction. They remain true regardless of cultural background. People feel the need to be respected. People would rather be asked than be told. People have a desire to know why. People prefer to have options over threats. People want to have a second chance. Golden rules of politeness. Don't command. Give options. Show respect. Make the other person feel good. Soften your words. Be diplomatic. Address people properly. Caution negative statements. It's not quite right. I'm afraid it's not quite correct. Actually, I don't need that. In fact, it is not possible to identify all the factors that might affect it. Well, not exactly. Of course, none of these limitations undermines the central argument. Imply alternative approaches, yes, but complex, yes, but fast and effective. Yes, it works in theory, but not in practice. Use diplomatic language. It may or may not be a problem. It depends. It's not necessarily good, nor is it bad. Ask a rhetorical question to attract the reader's attention. Isn't it challenging? Try to politely guess what the reader might be interested in. Perhaps you're wondering. You may be asking yourself. It takes more words to be polite. Yes, please. No, thanks. Give me versus can I have? Can I have some water, please? Help me versus help me, please. I wonder if you could give me a bit of help. I was wondering if you could give me a bit of help. Would you mind giving me a bit of help? Open the window. No, that's too rude. More polite versions. Please, open the window. Open the window, please. Could you possibly open the window? Why don't you open the window? Do you mind opening the window? The most polite of all. Exercise. Which one is more polite? Can we proceed, or do you mind if we proceed? The more polite version is version 2. Do you mind if we proceed? Culture note. Netiquette. Мережевий етикет, internet etiquette. In netiquette, the main rule is be concise and inoffensive. For example, do not shout. Using all caps is considered shouting on the internet. But that's not the whole story. Let's start with usernames. Usernames for professional purposes usually contain the first name, the last name, or a combination of both. For example, Alex Johnson at sample.com, Ljohn at sample.com. Sometimes a degree is also mentioned. For example, Dr. Alex Johnson at sample.com. Such usernames tend to be informational and formal, while names like CoolCucumber007 at sample.com, CandyGal at sample.com are overly emotional, informal, and project no professional aura. In general, it is preferable to use lowercase characters and possibly the underscore to create an email address. Never send important business emails on Friday afternoon or on weekends. Always proofread your messages. Start with I'm writing to. Some good closings. Please contact me if I can help in any way. If you have any questions, please call me. I'd like to be of help. Thanks. Many thanks. Poor closings are listed below. End your emails with best wishes or all the best, instead of sincerely yours or truly yours, because actually there is nothing sincere about sincerely yours. Opening and closing paragraphs are the most important parts of a written message. The easiest way to start your message is to use something like I'm writing to. In emails, a warm greeting and especially a small talk line before proceeding to business is an important etiquette element. Dear Mr. Green, thank you for renewing your membership for 2020. You know how important it is to stay up to date with cutting-edge technology breakthroughs. Please take a moment to update or confirm the information in your technical interest profile. With this data, we can continue to send you timely information in your particular areas of interest. The kind of opening depends a great deal on the kind of message. If it's good news, put it up front immediately. If it's bad news, locate it further in the text and start the letter with some point of common agreement. Then present your reasons, mention the bad news, a refusal, etc., and close with something positive. But no matter what your subject, if you want people to read your letter, start with something that catches them. For example, it was a pleasure talking to you last week. I know how busy you are. Some kind of thanks may be put either in closing or in the very beginning of a message. Such thanks may vary from formal to informal. Thank you very much. Thank you ever so much. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks a lot. Many thanks. Many, many thanks. Thanks a million. Thank you. Yet conversely, thanks anyway or anyway thank you for, rendered in Ukrainian as дякую в будь-якому разі, хоча ви не допомогли, is normally used when someone has done something for you, yet it had been unsuccessful. In a text message or an email, it could sound as negative or sarcastic. You didn't really help, but thanks for trying. On the other hand, if you say, not write it after saying something nice like, I appreciate the offer, but I can't accept it right now. Thanks anyway. Then thanks anyway is rather positive. Depending on stress, the phrases below signal apology, a way of polite interrupting, starting to say something, or strong disagreement. Excuse me versus excuse me. So it all depends on the context, the tone, and the way it is said. Neologisms versus obsolete archaic words. Neologism is newly coined word or expression or a new meaning for an existing word. For example, ungoogleable, doable, indie, independent, disruptive technology, disruptive innovation, disruptive skills, leadfluence, leadership plus influence, frenemy, friend plus enemy. New and trending, cutting edge, state of the art. The phrase implies the newest or best techniques in some product or activity. Сучасний, новий, новітній, новаторський. Disruption – руйнування, порушення, пошкодження, дестабілізація, революція, переворот. Disruptive skills – навички, що мають особливу ринкову цінність. Disruptive technology, disruptive innovation – передові технології, що спричиняють переворот на ринку. The concept of disruptive technology was put forth by Harvard Business School professor Clayton Christensen. This term is used in business and technology to describe innovations that improve a product or service in the ways that the market does not expect. Disruptive innovation refers to the establishment of new, previously unknown business innovations like products or services that can begin as a small niche innovation and trigger a market revolution. Some obsolete archaic words. Melodist, a singer, schoolman, a teacher, Twitterlight. No, this does not refer to the backlight on your phone as you're scrolling through Twitter, believe it or not. It's actually a 17th century way of saying twilight. Methinks, it seems to me, thrice, 3 times, Grimalkin, a cat. A cat was named Grimalkin in William Shakespeare's play Macbeth. Supper, вечеря. Today we speak of breakfast, сніданок, brunch. Бранч, образно кажучи, це пізній сніданок або ранній обід. Lunch, обід, dinner, вечеря. We still use supper only to refer to the Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci, late 15th century mural painting in Milan, Italy. Українською тайна вечеря, російською тайна вечеря. Use politically correct vocabulary, like gender-neutral one. By the way, there are almost no feminitives in English. Housewife, homemaker, stewardess, flight attendant, actress, actor, layman, layperson, chairman, chairperson, businessman, entrepreneur, businessperson, sportsman, athlete, mankind, humanity. The word form, denoting a class in a school, is obsolete too. Today we use grade in American English or year in British English. One more obsolete word, pupil, that used to mean учень средней школы. Now we say student, учень, student, referring to high school, college and university settings. However, pupil still means зіниця, зрачок, and some contexts of its occurrence are pretty memorable and rather impressive, because they took your pulse, elevated, your pupils dilated. Please watch this short excerpt. The importance of pronunciation. Use YouTube to improve your English pronunciation. With lots of tracks, Youglish gives you fast, unbiased answers about how English is spoken by real people and in context. Pronounce correctly. Word, word, data, data, interest, interesting, version or version, resource, resource, say, says, I say, you say, we say, they say, he or she says, he says, she says. There is no F in of course, there is no mat in matrix, there is no table in vegetable, there is no Kate in certificate, there is no mine in determine, there is no mine in examine, there is no light in elite, there is no famous in infamous, there is no cup in cardboard, there is no ham in Buckingham, there is no extra in extraordinary, there is no word in sword, there is no arch in architecture, there are no X in experiment, there is no X in experience. important, question, unique, technique, check, recipe, receipt, technology, illustrate, illustration, pronounce, pronunciation, component, author, co-author, authentic, authoritative, authoritarian, aura, audio, video, stereotype, period, criterion, hypothesis, гіпотеза, hypotheses, гіпотези, synthesis, analysis, chemistry, architecture, but arch, theory, variety, hierarchy, paradigm, procedure, soldier, prestige, prestigious, pure, puree, quote, quotation, to quote, quotient, awkward. IEEE, ASAP, also as soon as possible, aka also known as decade, electron, electronic, tomato, British English, tomato, American English, niche, British English, niche, American English, advertisement, British English, advertisement, American English, address, British English, address, American English, sample, British English, sample, American English, enhance, British English, enhance, American English, tube, new, British English, tube, new, American English, template, British English, template, American English, towards, British English, towards, American English, direct, direction, British English, direct, direction, American English, either or, neither nor, British English, either or, neither nor, American English, psychological, psychology, pharmaceutical, society, soft, soften, calm, climb, tomb, calm, palm, Sherlock Holmes, but helm, realm, absolute versus obsolete, silicone, силикон, силиконовий, silicon, кремній, силіцій, кремнієвий, Silicon Valley, Кремнієва долина, genre, urgent, illustrate, illustration, to rely on, reliable, customer, angel, angelic, Los Angeles, natural, nature, national, nation, south, southern, breath, breathe, vehicle, hotel, suit, sweet, poignant, sign, signature, insignia, Greenwich, Greenwich, Caribbean, Cambridge, David, Herman, Leicester Square, Malta, Ottawa, Montreal, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Tucson, Iowa, Arkansas, Illinois, Xerox, McDonald's, Alfred Nobel, Isaac Newton. There is, there are, far away, later on, as far as I know, or is it? Orange juice. Circumstances, consequences, tough, rough, though, although, visual, sapphire, honey, honest, honesty, island, isle, isles, region, religion, religious, precious, strengths, debt, to be indebted, doubt, no doubt, undoubtedly, parentheses, відхилення від теми, digression, parentheses, round brackets, дужки, anxious, anxiety, advocacy, mind word stress, product, продукт, продукція, produce, продукт, продукція, to produce, виробляти, content, зміст, content, content, задоволений, pleased with, process, процес, to process, обробляти, переробляти, present, подарунок, присутній, теперішній, to present, дарувати, презентувати, estimate, оцінка, to estimate, оцінювати, project, проект, to project, планувати, проектувати, address, American English, address, British English, адреса, to address, розглядати питання, проблему, звертатися до, адресувати. Interested versus interesting. Look at the two forms to be interested and interesting. We say, are you interested in science? We say, science is interesting. We can also say, thanks, I'm not interested, to politely decline an offer. Fashion keeps us interested. Style keeps us interesting. Another somewhat similar case. If you want to be inspired, surround yourself with inspiring people. Subtle, тонкий, like помітний. Something that is subtle is not immediately obvious or noticeable. Shades of meaning. Shades of meaning is a phrase used to describe the small, subtle differences in meaning between similar words or phrases. Careful writers and discerning readers delight in the profusion of words in the English lexicon, no two of which are exact synonyms. Many words convey subtle shades of meaning. Steven Pinker. Tint, hue, shade, tone. Mind some words, especially modal verbs, to denote shades of probability. Will, must, should, ought to, have got to. Always, undoubtedly, certainly, surely, definitely. Would, almost always. Highly probable, can, there is every indication. Could well, very likely. Could, often, frequently, periodically, probable, likely. May well, sometimes, occasionally, at times, possibly. May, rarely, seldom, it seems, apparently, by the look of things. Might well, not very likely. Might, not impossible. May not, might not, improbable, hardly probable. Never impossible, there is no chance. Some size words. Small, minuscule, tiny, microscopic, little, minute, petite. Medium-sized, average, medium. Big, large, huge, jumbo, enormous, giant, gigantic, massive, immense, humongous. Clothes, cup sizes. Small, medium, large, extra large. Please watch this short YouTube video. And finally, some inspiration from great minds. Benjamin Franklin. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Study hard what interests you most in the most undisciplined, irreverent, and original manner possible. Richard Feynman. So, until next time, thank you for being with us.